to a second-place finish in the state championship as a junior. He plans on attending the University of Washington next fall and joining his brother as part of the Husky pitching staff. Let's give a warm Nebraska DECA welcome to our International President, McCoy.
Thank you very much. Well, before I begin my Road to Life keynote, I just want all of you to know that this is my first trip to the state of Nebraska. And yeah. But the reason I say that is I've had a pretty amazing opportunity this year to serve as a national president and to travel throughout the country and to visit different state associations. And I'll tell you what, Nebraska DECA is one of the best state associations in all of DECA, and I want all of you to know that. So give yourself a round of applause. Okay, there sure are a lot of people here in the room this afternoon. I think it's time for a Nebraska DECA roll call. Are you ready? Yeah. Let's see how loud we can rock this place. Show us what you got. Make some noise if it's the class of 2004. Glad to see you here. What about the class of 2003? Now, are there any DECA members out there for the class of 2002? The road to life isn't straight. There is a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, red lights called enemies, caution lights called families. You will have flat tires called jobs. But if you have a spare tire called determination, an engine called perseverance, insurance called faith, a vehicle that dreams big, and you're a driver that practices the golden rule, you're going to make it to a place called success. On the road to life, there are passengers and there are drivers. For most teenagers here this afternoon, the day we got our driver's license was probably the most exciting day of our lives. Do you remember the excitement? Remember what it felt like to climb behind the wheel for the first time? We finally felt free. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the road to life is the Volkswagen commercials, and I'm sure you're all familiar with them. The ones that say, on the road to life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers wanted. Well, you see, we haven't lived as passengers. For the greater part of our lives, we really haven't made our own decisions. Our parents, our friends, our teachers, and certain circumstances have determined them for us. Many times it seems we are just along for the ride. But we are now at a stage of our lives where it's crucial for us to step outside of the passenger seat and become drivers on the road to life. Graduation, selection of college, discovering your future career, and even choosing the perfect boyfriend and girlfriend that you're going to marry for the rest of your life. These are just a few of the crucial decisions that are going to require all of us to step outside of the passenger seat and become drivers on the road to life. So, how will DECA aid you on your journey? That's a question I'm sure many of you have probably asked yourself all throughout this year. You see, your increasing commitment and endless hours devoted to your DECA experience will reward you. New opportunities are going to rise up, and they will challenge you to grow in your academics and in your leadership. You will also grow a lot as a person. Learning to believe in myself, knowing that I am somebody, has been the most valuable tool that I've received from my DECA experience. So I encourage you to take advantage of all the opportunities available. Run for a chapter, a state, or even a national office. Lead a civic consciousness project for the MBA. And apply for all those over $250,000 in scholarships that DECA offers each year. And I'm going to promise you one more thing. That if you challenge yourself in DECA, your journey on the road to life will take a powerful direction, a powerful turn in the right direction. I'm a firm believer that unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, it's almost impossible to grow. So on my journey, there have been two key elements that have been real critical. Number one is perseverance. It's the willingness to overcome life's obstacles. And number two is to dream. The ability to set goals, think big, and work hard. Pay close attention to the next two short stories I'm going to tell, and think about your own life. Then this message possibly could help you on your journey. Booker T. Washington once said that success is to be measured not so much by the destination that one has reached in life, as by the obstacles which he has overcome while trying to succeed. What would you do if you grew up in this situation? Maybe you did. The important matter is, how did you handle it? So listen to this unique story of a young man who took all of his early life scraps and made them into quilts. A story is told about a young boy who was born in the month of February to a 19-year-old mother. His real father was a convicted felon and wasn't around long enough to see him be born. He already had an older brother, Cameron, and his mother gave birth to him when she was just 17 years old. His childhood years, they were some of the best in his life. He grew up without a father, but that didn't matter to him because he had the coolest mother, a new baby brother, and the greatest family in the world, he thought. At the age 8, his mother married, improving his journey on the road of life significantly. The kid finally had a dad. Plus, both he and his older brother dreamed of becoming big league baseball players, and they dreamed of doing it together. The next 5 years of his journey got real tough real fast. His mother started drinking excessively, which brought her into a deep depression. His stepfather didn't make life much easier either. The young boy would come home and walk proudly to the door with an A on his report card and hear, "You know, son, you're still not going to amount to anything." He even stayed home from school one day. The night before, his mother came this close to ending her life. Before he could do anything about it, his home life went to shambles, crushing his self-confidence. What do you think happened next? The difference between the possible and the impossible lies in one's determination. No, he didn't give up. He continued to do the best inside the classroom and at home. You'll find, DECA members, that on the road of life, the race not only goes to the swift, but it goes to those that keep on running. His junior high years rolled along, giving the young teen a lot of personal growth. But life at home really didn't change that much, it just continued to get worse. But it was during these rough times in his life that the young man began to dream. He dreamed to someday be somebody and to someday do something. At the age of 15, his mother got a divorce, just deciding not to come around the home no more. 4 to 5 days would roll by before his mother would come back home, leaving the young man to take care of his younger brother all alone. You see, each time I hear this story, I remind myself that there were only two decisions that the young man could have made. Number one, he could have given up. And number two, which is the decision that I believe in, is that when the road of life gave him scraps, he could have made quilts. He could have learned from his obstacles and grow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the path that he chose. His home life didn't improve all that much, but through perseverance and a winner's attitude, he left the situation and moved into his grandfather's house. A new horizon was established, he became happy, he became successful, and he began to believe in himself. That's the end of my story. You see, the young man in the story is me. I tell this story to share with you how my diligent will to persevere as a young child and teen carried me through some of the absolute hardest times of my life. It's a very tough story for me to share. But I share it with you to tell you how a very average person like myself, with a big heart and loads of passion, can beat the odds. You see, I had big dreams. I worked hard. And in the midst of the terrible events of my home life, my hard work and determination turn the roadblocks in my life into opportunities. The message here, Nebraska DECA, to be successful on the road to life, we need to face the challenges that life brings and overcome the obstacles no matter what they are. So having said this, take a second to examine your own life and identify all those roadblocks that possibly can be holding you back. Whatever they may be, develop a plan of attack to get those things out of there. So when you get home from this conference, set aside some time to determine who or what may be holding you back. Consult with the people that you love and begin taking the necessary steps to piece those roadblocks out of there. Because life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And if you react now, if you react now when you're young, you're going to be on the right path on the road to life. So story number two is to dream. And there's only one thing that I want to say about this, and it's that don't let anyone steal your dreams and tell you that you're not capable of achieving them. Sometimes it seems that our dreams are so far out of reach, but you know what? If we set the proper goals and we combine that with passion, why wouldn't we? Really, what's stopping us? It's like that old saying goes, shoot for the moon because if you miss, you're still going to land amongst the stars. And so when the going gets tough, you just have to reach deep inside. You have to work harder than the person next to you. And you have to never give up. Just listen to story number two. A story is told about a boy named Sparky. For Sparky, school was all but impossible. He failed every subject in the 8th grade. He flunked physics in high school, receiving a flat 0 in the course. He distinguished himself as the worst physics student in the school's history. Sparky also flunked Latin, algebra, and English. He didn't do much better in sports either. Although he did manage to make the school's golf team, he promptly lost the only important match of the season. And there was a consolation match. He lost that one too. You see, throughout his youth, Sparky was awkward socially. He was not actually disliked by the other students. It was just no one really cared about him that much. He was astonished if a classmate ever said hello to him outside of school hours. And there was no way to tell if Sparky might have done the dating. He never once asked a girl out in high school. He was just too afraid of being turned down. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparky was a loser. He, his classmates, everyone knew it. But so he rolled with it. Sparky had made up his mind early in life that if things were meant to work out, they would. Otherwise, he would content himself with what appeared to be his inevitable mediocrity. So, however, there was one thing that was important to Sparky, and that was drawing. He was proud of his artwork. Of course, no one else really appreciated it. In his senior year of high school, he submitted some cartoons to the editors of the yearbook. They were turned down. Despite this painful rejection, Sparky was so convinced of his ability to draw that he decided to become a professional artist. Upon graduating from high school, he wrote a letter to Walt Disney Studios. He was told to send some samples of his artwork and a subject matter for a cartoon with suggestion. So Sparky wrote the proposed cartoon. He spent a great deal of time on it and all the other cartoons he submitted. Finally, the reply came from Disney Studios. He had been rejected once again. Another loss of the loser. So Sparky, being a big dreamer, decided to write his own autobiography in cartoons. He described his childhood self, a little boy loser and a chronic underachiever, the cartoon character who would soon become famous worldwide. For Sparky, the boy who failed every subject in the 8th grade and whose work was rejected again and again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Charles Schulz. He created the Peanuts comic strip. ladies and gentlemen, that was Charlie Brown. Before I graduated from high school, my grandfather is one of the most important people in my life. He left me with something far more important than his roadmap for success. My grandpa Jack pounded in my head that it's how you get to your destination that matters. He said, Chris, people are watching you as you go to achieve your goals. If you're working hard to achieve a dream, you are inspiring people that you don't even know. So my challenge to you, Nebraska Decker, throughout your life, throughout this conference, throughout everything you do, let's use that power to inspire others and motivate ourselves as we're achieving our dreams. So before I end my message this afternoon, I would like to do a little something to get a little energy in this room and boost our positive attitudes and boost our positive energies. I'm going to say a phrase, and you're going to repeat it with the same emotion, challenging yourself to be positive. If you combine a positive attitude with perseverance and your passion to dream, then who knows where the road of life can lead you. You can do anything you want to do. So are you ready? Okay, everybody stand up. Let's do this. Say, I will. I can. I am. Awesome. Let's do that with a little more energy. Say, I will. I can. I am. I will. I can. I am. That is exactly right, Decker members. That is why you can accomplish anything, because you know with a positive attitude, anything's possible. So, as you travel down your road, and I down mine, don't forget the people that you care about most. Challenge yourself to persevere and dare to dream. Look always forward on the road of life and the never-ending possibilities that is the road that is called your life. Someday you and I will meet again on one of the infinite intersections on this great road. So stand tall, walk proud, and I'll see all of you on top in Salt Lake City. God bless.